Okay, good afternoon, everyone. It's a good time once again to come together and learn. I want to believe that for all of us that are here, we are ready to, get up and roll with presentations. And of course, one of the interesting things today is the fact that you can hardly communicate without anything visual. And that's one of the essence of running this training. And I also trust that you have been effectively informed about what happens after this training. That's one. Again, is that when we are done with this training, if you wait till the end, we also have the bonus to give on how you can fast track your learning, especially by converting your phone to laptop. All right, so having said that, my name is Gideon Lorry. I've been into design for over 20 years. I've been in the advertising agency. I've developed different project, visual communication projects. I've worked with top brands like Microsoft, Intel, Visa, and I've had to help one way or the other to change how customers perceive brands. Of course, also to help push proposals. That's where presentation comes in, and the different design capacities over the years. And one of the things that I'm passionate about is helping people to communicate effectively and, more importantly, visually. After years of working, I believe in simplicity, and I believe that people can learn these things without all the complex ideologies. And so you can jumpstart whatever you need to do. But I believe that within 24 hours, you should be able to pick any digital skills. And of course, it should help you to launch yourself forward in the digital thing. And of course, we know that this is one of those things that Next Factory is doing to make sure that we have digital skills cut across board. And using this platform, I want us to just take a time. I want to wait, be patient. If you have any question, you can just raise your hand while the training is going on, so that we can, of course, get ourselves to know. I can get to answer your questions, because sometimes you can actually forget it is going to be a very particular class. So how we're going to run, I'll take you through this presentation steps, and then we do a practice session. And afterwards, we can go on from there. So that's by way of introduction. Now let's dig into this course. The session we're having this evening really is called Presentation Design Mystery. Is the foundation session, is a foundation class. Because when we are talking about mystery, that's practically having a full grasp of all of the things that are needed. However, this is a jumpstart session to help you as you go along, your journey. So this is the foundation session. This is supposed to help you to start thinking visually, and it's going to give you everything you need to be able to put together a presentation at the minimum, and something that will be visually appealing and you can communicate. And of course, you can jump start from that point on. So let's move on. So when we talk about presentation, what do we think presentation is about? I need one or two people to just kickstart that for us. What is your idea of a presentation, especially presentation slides? Anybody can raise your hand, or you can just type it in the comments. Any attempts? How do we see presentation design or presentation slides? Okay. So when we talk about presentation, really, most times people think that is just having something to put before people and just talk. And I believe you have seen different types of presentations over the years. There are ones that you probably ask yourself that, wow, how is this thing looking beautiful? And there are other presentations that you probably start sleeping the moment they put it up. So, and it's critical for us to understand how you see it is how you are going to put it together. And of course, we believe that from this class going forward, you'll be able to put together a visually appealing presentation design. So we ask ourselves, why are we talking about presentations? Or why are we talking about presentation slides? It's very, very important right now, wherever you are, whatever job. It used to be, presentation used to be for those who are really probably in business, or you're just trying to go and do a proposal. But right now, as we speak, everything is changing, and it's critical that everyone, both in career and business, must learn to do presentations. And you, by so, and so by extension, you must understand what those things are and how we are going to put them together. So one of the reasons we are talking about presentations, because we are in a world of visual communication. So if for instance, I say to you right now, give me that bottle, or I just mentioned the word bottle, I bet what you are going to be thinking is not BOTTLE. What comes to your mind is an image, right? You begin to imagine, and depending on your experience or your exposure to what a bottle is, those images will start coming up, just right in your mind. So if somebody who likes to drink beer, his beer bottles will come. If you like, maybe you like soft drink, his soft drink that will come. There are different bottles that start coming into your mind because of that word. And what that means is that as individuals, even though we probably say, oh, this word or that word, eventually we think visually. Everyone thinks visually. Somebody says to you, you have a coconut head. The spelling of coconut is not what comes to you. It's your visual perception of what it is for your head, like coconut, that gets you angry. It's not what the person has said. That's an interesting way to look at it. So when we use words eventually paint pictures or images that we respond to. And that is why visual communication is critical. And with the advent of social media, we realize that almost every day we are communicating visually. In fact, not every day, almost every minute we are communicating visually. If you go online, one of the reasons most people would go online is to catch up probably with videos, with pictures, and most of the things that we post online, those are things that affect our perception, and those things are heavy with visuals. So gone are the days when people write text and they just keep reading, but today everything is visual. So you must have a good grasp of visual understanding, so that when you are speaking, or whether you are using words or you are using pictures or are using video, you know how to put those things together. So we are all visual beings. We see words in pictures. And another reason we talk about presentation, I haven't understood the fact that visual communication is key It helps you to gain clarity. If you look at what is in front of you, we have an image of two people shaking hands. If I remove all the words that are on this slide, you'll probably begin to imagine a whole lot of things, and it will jumpstart your thoughts. So visual presentation or visual communication, or as it may be, visual literacy, where is what is that's what we're doing right now, is about conversion. It helps you to gain clarity, and you can convert people easily. It means that people can quickly look at what you're doing and they can interpret, they can connect. But if all you have before is just mere text, at the point people can actually read it, and you that probably presenting, you are off their mind. And that's one of the things that presentation will help us to do. It helps us to get clarity. We can just, circle down to exactly what we need, and we can sustain the attention of the people. However, in doing that, at the end of the day, we would be able to convert people. And what we mean by conversion, people can easily follow you and agree with you on certain terms, that when you begin to describe with words and their vision, their images, or the visual images they have can go in different ways. When you have a presentation that is well done, a very, very relevant image, you can actually bring their mind, within the borders of what you are saying. And then we use all this to push ideas. Hello, can you still see my slide?
Yes, we are.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So you can push ideas. If you have ideas, you can use it to push ideas. You use it for projects, use it for marketing, you can use it to prepare reports, you can use it for social media, and you can also use it for relationships. And while we have put relationships here, I have the fact I have it at the back of my mind that even when you are relating with people, you can do simple things to engage them. Ordinary running a birthday for your mom, you can put pictures together, you can use it to engage, for fun and for entertainment. So that if you're able to understand visual communication to a very large extent. And then again, is visual communication. Clear communication improve reputation. Just like a former United States president has said, nothing in life is more important than the ability to communicate effectively. So when you are someone that people can come to, or you are making presentations in the office, or you are making presentation anywhere, and you are able to capture people effectively, you're able to engage them, you're able to convert them, it gives you a level of confidence. Sometimes when you are not confident, when your thoughts are modeled together, but as you begin to put presentations together, you begin to understand the power of visual communication, and then begin to, leverage that power. Your reputation will grow. One of the first things you experience yourself is that you begin to get confident, because you know that when you stand before people, you can actually capture their attention and sustain their attention, and you can convert them eventually. So visual communication or visual literacy today is no longer something like, I don't want it, I don't mind. You are going to just be left behind. Interestingly, you just find yourself grappling with the past. And of course, today with AI, a whole lot of things are happening. And if you don't understand even visual literacy, you can get all right. So let's go on. If you look at the image before me, we're talking about AI and human beings. Today, everybody feels like, why do I need to go ahead and learn all this presentation design and this thing. It's just, I can just tell AI, give me this presentation. You just give me, everybody is doing AI now. I tell you, if you if you don't exactly know how to master AI, you are probably just going to be getting everything messed up. So AI is not an immediate answer to everything, although a whole lot of people believe now that it can work. In fact, I can tell you this image that I have put up is actually generated, by AI. And funny enough, I can tell you I used my WhatsApp to generate this image. I don't know if some of us already leverage the tool, the AI tool on WhatsApp. When you go to Meta AI, there's now an AI function on WhatsApp. And so I just wrote, okay, generate this, and this for me. And then, but by the time it responded, it did not give me the correct image that I want. So I had to send in a couple of prompts to be able to get what I want. So if everything is dependent on AI, some people will drive into bush. It's just like following Google Maps sometimes. I don't know if I've had that experience. Google Maps just tells you, keep going, keep going, keep going, not knowing that the road has been blocked. So you must understand the basics, understand the foundation, understand the elements of design. So even when you want to use AI as a tool, you will be able to use it effectively. I remember someone was going to give a presentation, we were discussing, and the lady came and said, I have used AI to generate this word. I think it's a copy for an advert. And of course, she was reading it, she was getting confused herself because everything that AI was saying or she was reading was getting clumsy at the end of the day. So we are not saying that you need to discard AI. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying here is the fact that understanding the rudiments and what are the key elements of putting a presentation together will even help you to leverage the technology or grabbing the template or the AI platform effectively. So human beings are going nowhere. And for those who feel that, oh, AI has come and people are going to lose their jobs, no. Those who will be relevant in the next few years are people who have understanding of the foundation and they are now able to use AI as a tool. And that is why it's important that beyond just trying to find answers, understand the principles so that you can leverage it effectively. And that's one of the things that we learn or we need to pick up as we begin to go on with the AI. Do I have any question? Anybody who wants to have a question on this AI thing, or you have a different opinion? We can have a short conversation around that. Or how do you see AI helping along the line? Not just presentation, but even at work. Anybody? Okay. All right, so let me continue. So I've said all of this. Let's just go in and see what we are talking about. So what we are discussing is about slide. It's not particularly about PowerPoint. It's just to help you understand what is called slideware. Slideware has been around for a whole long time. And so the general ideology of slide is what we used to call visual strips. These are some of the things that have been used in the past. So you just want to guide yourself. Sometimes when you want to go and speak and you write them out in bullet points just on your paper so that it can guide your speech. That's the very basic type of presentation that we're talking about. So it helps you to keep attention and then to work against distraction. And of course, it gives you order, progressive thinking. Sometimes if you don't have some of the things you want to say written out, you probably just go up there and start to, model things up. You start from beginning, you start, in fact, starting from the beginning, you go to the end. You start from the middle, and you're just having your thoughts. But when you put a slide together, it can be a cue. Put your thoughts in order. And like what we're doing right now, the order of presentation has been made. It has been totally put together, so we can move from one point to the other, and it can be progressive. And of course, we talk about the physical options. For some of us here, depending on how well we have been in the, let's say, in the business or in the work industry, work field, we have what we call flashcard, flannel boards, and posters. As small as I guess a whole lot of us can get, we are aware of posters, right? So we know posters. Just reason people put posters all around is to communicate, to send out messages so that you can connect and you can understand what they are saying. And of course, today we have the digital advantage, which is what we are talking about: PowerPoint, PDF, MS Word, and all of these things that we use to engage our audience or even our partners. So it's important that we also understand that. So let's leave here and let's go to the PowerPoint advantage. Out of all there are different types of slide where you can use. You have Google Slides, which is mostly online. You have Canva. Okay, you can use Canva. Canva can help with design. And then you also have PowerPoint. There are a couple of other design software that you can use. But then just to talk about the PowerPoint advantage, one of the reasons I am talking about PowerPoint is, number one, if you are using Canva, you have to be online most of the time. For a PowerPoint, you don't necessarily have to be online. Although today, PowerPoint is also online. You can now, just like Google Slide, if you go to Microsoft 360 and the 365, you will see that it's online. So if you want to do any work and you don't have the software, you can actually put it up and use just like Google Slides. It allows you to run free and you don't need registration until you need to do some very, very, very deep things. So, but what's the advantage of using PowerPoint? It gives you it helps your presentation for attraction and attention. And then it helps you to visualize. It helps your audience to follow your vision, to help you to follow you visually. And from what I'm putting in front of you right now, as I'm talking about this, you can see an image of somebody that is on the rocket, and it's a way of communicating how far you can go, with PowerPoint. You can go, actually, you can stand out, go above the roof. And of course, if you look at what we're talking about, it helps people to stimulate. It stimulates thinking. When you put something in front of people, they begin to wonder. Even if you just put an image. An experiment was done some time back. A couple of young people or students were put together, and they were made to be hungry. So by the time they started flashing images for them, then they asked them, what is the image? What is the image they are seeing? Most of them, what they said was they saw bread. They were seeing food, either bread or something that they can eat. But eventually, when the image was revealed, it was a stone. So visuals stimulate thinking. It helps you to want to find meaning. And of course, as you are trying to do that, it helps to clarify. And of course, you can use it for interaction. So at the end of the day, like I've said before, you can begin to get responses from it by using slides. So, and that's one of the low-tech method that you can actually use to enhance engagement. It doesn't cost you much. Almost everything you need is around. So all you just have to do is couple them together and you are good to go. And of course, everybody can have a view. because it's very, very abundant. Almost everybody has Microsoft Word. And that's one of the reasons we are talking about PowerPoint. But whatever we are learning today, you can use on any slide. You can use it for Canva, you can use it for Google Slide, because we are talking about the principles, not particularly how to just run PowerPoint. Okay, so let's take a peep. I'm sure we have seen a couple of slides before today, and some of us maybe we have put slides together. But let's look at how you can make a difference in a slide. So this is a meeting agenda that has been put together by someone, and of course this is actually on PowerPoint too. You can write it out like this, but you can imagine how it looks when it's been designed. This is the same thing. This is the same thing. I can go back to show you. Look at the way it is. It's blank. That's what some people put together or can do. But now this is the same thing that is looking like this. So that is the before, and this is the after when it comes to the design. Let's take another one. I mean, most of us have seen slides like this before. Most people, this most likely how they just put slides together. Okay. So now look at this, everything together. But this same thing, understanding visual communication, you can turn it to this. Now, this is still text. Though it is a text, you can pick what it's saying, and there's just a background there that makes it look like it's written on paper. This minimal design. Then you can also put pictures and all of that into it. Now, let's take another look. This another one. We look at this. Now, this one looks like it's fine. It's not totally bad, but we can also tweak it to an extent. And then this is how it looks when it's been reworked. So this is the before, and then this is after. Now I think we can take one or two more. All right. So this is one, this is the before, and this is after. This is before, and this is after. So we see that we can leverage these things effectively. I want to show, beyond this, I have tried as much as possible to make sure that the design we are looking at this session is not very complex. There could be more complex designs. Let me also take you to another sample. I'll quickly take a look at this and we'll be back here. Okay. So first, let me show this to you. My slide visible now. So if you look at this, this is also a PowerPoint presentation, and we are talking about growing. There are two languages there. You have English, you have French, and this is using video, right, in PowerPoint, and to illustrate what growth is. I don't know if you are catching it. So that's one. You can see how the thing is actually growing, well illustrated. Then I can show you another one. quickly. Let me come here. Okay, okay, you can see my slide, right? So if you look at this, it's a quick presentation, right? Uh, so you can see how it's introduced. I think there's another one. I don't know if you are seeing the animation. Is the animation showing well at your end? Oh, wow. I, I didn't know I was muted. Apologies. Apologies, I didn't know I was muted. Okay. So as I was saying, I said that we can do more complex designs. All right. So, but this, for the purpose of this session, we have done something very simple that you can even tell yourself, I can do this. But when you understand how to put everything together, then it becomes even easier for you to do. Okay. So one of the critical things that we know about design, or we should know about design, is our thinking. There are four major things we must think about when we want to start any design, or even in PowerPoint. One, we must think of what are they taking home? What is the main message that you want to sell? That's very important. The next thing is, what is the emphasis? You can have a message, for instance, your key message is about probably people recruit, maybe you are working in HR, we are talking about challenge in recruitment, right? We are talking about that. But what's the emphasis? If the emphasis is you want to use numbers to emphasize the challenge, but you want to use a story, you want to use a person to emphasize a story. So that is very important. So think of what do you want people to go away with after this presentation? And then what are you going to use to emphasize it? The next thing is you must think engagement. engagement. And when you talk about engagement, whatever you are going to put, how will people react? Whatever you are putting on the slide, you need to think of how would people react in terms of giving them opportunity to respond. And of course, you must think visually. What are the images that you will need to put together? Now, just going further in this, we look at take home, your key concept, your solution. It could be intellectual, it could be social, it could be physical. And when you're talking about take home, we are talking, you need to look at or ask yourself, how will people apply these things? Or what action do you want people to take after the presentation? Now, sometimes presentations don't, um, not necessarily have to be many images. You can even do a presentation with one image from the beginning to the end, as long as there's relevance. We'll get to that point. Now, you think emphasis, that's what we talk about, the big idea, what will interest the people, or what are the key touch points. I've mentioned that, then I'll run to this. We talk about engagement, what's going to be their perception. Sometimes when we design, some people just put what comes to your mind. Is the way you see it. But that's wrong. When you want to put a design together, it should be about what will they see? How do the people see it? How will they see it? Not how you see it alone. So, and then you look at taking people from known to unknown. What is it that people already know? And how do you take them to where you want them to be, which is where they don't know already? And of course, look at the response field. What are the kind of things that you want people to do to respond to you? You want them to interpret, you want to use quiz, you want to use game. Now, this third one is for more complex designs when you are putting your stuff together. But of course, if you're able to scale through with perception and taking them from known to unknown, you have done a very good work. And again, you look at what is their visual thoughts. You must think what image will capture or will interpret or will be relevant to what you are doing. It's not just putting any image together. You have a video, you have a chart, infographic, text at minimal level. So these are the things that you must put together. In fact, it's advisable to write them on paper before you start to design. Just take your jotter out, say 1, 2, 3, 4, write these things out so that they can begin to guide your work as you go on. Now, by that we mean for you to have effective slides, all these things put together, don't bear in mind that it has to be simple. It doesn't have to be full color. If you look at this one in front of you, it's simple enough. Okay. Now, simple slides like this is important just basically because we are teaching and you actually want people to pick the essence of it. We have shown you other slides, you have pictures, you have colors and all of that. So you keep your slides simple, you use high quality images and you stay consistent. And what we mean by consistent means that if you are using a particular color as your cue, like you can see we've used color blue. Sometimes we have transited to where we transit into another color we are going to see right now, whether red or gray, but the pattern is the same. You see pattern, you see color. There are certain things that must be consistent throughout. For instance, your headline should be consistent. That is the size of the headline, which should be consistent, unless at some point where you probably have to make emphasis. Then don't worry about transitions and animations. This is very important, and that's one of the reasons that I have not used it here very well, because it's after you can put a whole slide together effectively, then you can start thinking about how it will move or how they will transit from one slide to the other. The first thing is to just make sure that your thoughts are well arranged and well, presented. And then say content comes first. And when we talk about content, we are talking about the message you have in mind. Even though you don't need to use too much text, but if you just put an image without any text, it may not communicate what you have in mind. And so that's just essential for you to have effective slide. Now let's talk about designing the slide itself. So now you want to design slides. Do you have any question? Okay. Ahmad, you can go if no problem. All right. Yeah, somebody is asking to leave for prayers. Okay. All right, let's go on. So designing slides. What are the things that you would need to do? When you have thought through all of those things, you have noted your emphasis, you have noted the kind of image you want to use, and then these are key things about slide designs. One, we need to understand that PowerPoint is not a text-based medium. It is a visual medium with text-based elements. And what do we mean? It means that it's not a notepad, it's not a textbook. Some, like the other slide I showed you the other time, most people run slides like that. They write as if they are writing a textbook. When you are using a slide, whether PowerPoint or any slideware, the intention is not for you to go there and start reading it out. When you are presenting, you don't need to read it out. That's why it is called PowerPoint. It's points. You are focusing, you focus on the points of your presentation, the points of your message, and that's what you use. And so it's visual, it has to be visual enough for people to capture, not a notebook for people to read. Now, if you look at the slide that is in front here that you are looking at, you realize that there's no picture there, but it has been put together as a design. And the emphasis you can see, because the emphasis for this slide is not and visual. So PowerPoint is to let you know that it is not a text-based medium. So there's emphasis, and the words have been arranged to capture your thoughts or to capture your attention. So it doesn't really mean that everything must have pictures, but if you understand how to use your text very well, you can leverage on that. Okay, so let's go on. Now, in trying to design, you need to know that people look at images first and text second. So anytime you are designing, the image is the power of your design. The image is the cue, is what draws people in. So that's why you need to use images that are of high resolution, images that are very relevant. We'll talk about images very soon. So viewers look at images first. And in putting it together, if you look at what we have here, you can see a whole lot of space. But what calls attention is this icon, this icon of the eye. You know, it can easily call your attention beyond all that we have written there. So when you are designing, put images first as your main concern. Then there are times that text may be necessary, but when you are using text, make sure that they are reasonably brief, and then they are light key action or key concept, and they are very close to the image that you are using. We'll experiment this as we go on. Now, if you look at this slide, what do you think is wrong with this slide? I need someone to respond. What do you think is wrong? Is anybody trying? What do you think is wrong with this slide? What do I need to call names? Okay. I'm going to call someone. I can see
Hmm.
Arthur Nelson. Arthur Nelson, you can unmute. Okay. All right, some people are dropping chats. Someone is saying the write-up is not attractive. That's Robert. And Victory is saying it is compressed. Okay. Now you are all correct. As it stands, you can see that probably can't pick any message the whole thing is talking about. If it's just a single image that is there, you can try to comprehend, but you have too many things together. And that's the way some people put their slides. They just put everything. Is the way the thing is coming to your mind. You just put it. This one has to be there. That one has to be there. Let's put. That's not design. Design is careful thoughts. You're thoughtfully arranging elements to make meaning. That's just a very crash, let me call it short interpretation of what design is. So it's not about how you feel. I would say that you realize that most of the time is how we feel that we put the designs together, like I have mentioned. And there are two major types of feeling, the representative and the decorative. We call it stimuli, how you respond instinctively, your instincts. So if we are talking about, I've mentioned something in HR, let's say something about sales. We want to talk about customers. And in your effort to talk about customers, the first thing that comes to your mind is how to represent a customer, which is the image you are going to use or how you are going to describe it. Sometimes without too much carefulness, you can actually even over-represent or over-design whatever you want to do. So you see, it has to be represented. Relevant images or diagrams are the things that you should use to represent what you have in mind. You want people to picture it. And then the one that most times people actually fail is the decorative part. You want it to look nice. So your effort to make it look nice, eventually it becomes a riot. You now create color riot because you think it's about colors. So all of these things are things that must bear in mind as you are designing. Uh, yes, Daniel. Daniel says this is better. Of course, you can see that it's clear, the images, you can understand what it's saying. And we can pick the difference. So look at, we say decorative is motivated by aesthetics, not rhetorics. Most times, this stimuli must create a balance when you are designing. So you are not designing the way it's just coming to your mind. I've worked with people that they now tell you, we have not put this thing. Yes, we need to make sure we put this, and everything gets modeled at the end of the day. So design, most importantly, is about the people who want to see it. First, put yourself in the chair of the audience before you can have a good design. It's not just how it's coming to your mind. And so, in our responding to our instinct or our stimuli, we need to create balance. And that balance we need is to understand that content and visual must be together. So let me go back and you can see this. You see that the icons that we have used, they are not too far from the text. The images are a bit far from each other because we want to create, we want them to have their space. In fact, one of the reasons I have done this is I see that you can pick them one after the other. All right. Now, we look at the fact that must bear in mind rather that your visual and image should be close together. The farther they are from each other, the more meaningless, more less effective they become. And so this is just like a marriage of visual and text. That's practically what you bear in mind. And then this is a big one. don't be afraid of empty space. This is where those who are new to PowerPoint design or slide design, they miss it. You always feel that, use up the whole space. So you don't have to use up the space. The essence of design is not to use up the space. No, let me put it again. The essence of designing a slide is not to fill the space, but to use it. There's difference between filling the space and using the space. Now, if you look at this slide, the message here is don't be afraid of empty word space. And you can see a whole lot of space up there with an icon or an image. And I bet that you have actually got the message. So we have not used up, we have not filled up the space, but we have used it and we have communicated still. So it's not about cramming, you just put everything in, you stuff the whole page up because you want to say something. All right. So other things that people use to distract and to lose engagement is video, sound, color. We'll quickly look at these things now and see how we go about them. How do we use them? Design components. Okay. So design components, 4 major ones that we deal with. We have text, we have the visual, we have the color, and we have effect. We'll focus more on text, visual, and color. For effect, that is not for this session, so that we can capture the essence of putting the design together. We'll just focus on text, on visual, and color. So let's run through this. Now let's take a look at this design, this slide design again. What do we think about this? I need 2 or 3 people to quickly, give a note. What do you think about this design? Anyone, is there a problem with this design, or do we think the design is fine?
Good evening, sir. Can I say something?
Okay, please go ahead.
Okay. Mine is okay, but the write-up is not catchy. It's tiny for a slide, and the color choice is not bright.
Okay. It's tiny, and the color choice is not bright. Okay. Someone else is typing, I guess somebody. Thank you for that comment. Okay, video says the writings are small and it may stress the eyes of the viewers. Correct. But you see, that's what we are trying to say about balance. The person has used the space well, but the issue of text has become a problem. Fonts are small, and most of this what people put together is like they just want one slide to carry too many things. There's nobody that is going to force you together. It's just clarity that you want to achieve. So all these things could have been in in each slide. In fact, if you look at this background, the background of that book, just one of these boxes could have been in that background with with the text bigger, and then it makes more sense. And rather than have one slide, it should have been 3 different slides. Okay, so that's just a test on understanding text. So when you are putting text together, just to help you, I've put some things here that you can quickly use. You have the headline. In PowerPoint, you have about 3 major hierarchies of content of text. You have the headline, you have the subheading, or you have the paragraph. So for headline, over the years, what I have come to learn, and this is an average, this is what the point sizes that I've put here, they are not like the holy grail of PowerPoint design. but from experience, anything from 40 points is okay for headline. And then subheading, say from 35 to 30 is good. And then for paragraph text, anything from 28. 24 is this most times the standard that comes. Some, if you depending on how you have set your PowerPoint, you can even start writing from 12 points. But because PowerPoint is not a book, it's not Microsoft Word, it has to be readable. So you put it at that point. And then I advise that you use a paragraph per for text. When you are using a text on a slide, let it not be more than a paragraph. And when we're talking about paragraphs, it's not having like 120 words in paragraph. Of course, we are talking about simple sentences, simple stuff that you can use. We'll take a look at a few examples as we go on. And if you are using bullet points, not more than 5 bullet points will be fine to put on any slide that you are using. Okay, so that's how you deal with text. And sometimes you can use a whole lot of text, but there are reasons why you use them. For instance, when you are presenting a noteworthy quote from an industry expert, of course, the quote has to be full and has to finish. So you can't break quotes. So you can use that. You are leaving a specific passage on screen for discussion, or you are making slides to archive them rather than to show people. So in case you want to use PowerPoint, you can actually use PowerPoint to do proposals that can be printed as PDF and can be filed. So in this case, you can use lots of text because you are not actually bringing people to take a look at it. Or you are drawing associations and categories across multiple concepts. So now let's look at visual. What are the kind of visuals that you should use? You should use visuals that are explanatory, that are relevant, and then the ones that are explanatory. So in explanatory, using a visual that can explain, you see that's something that is direct. For instance, when you are saying you're running, can show someone that is running. That is denotative. Okay, so you show someone that is running, or instead of using run. Instead of using somebody showing the picture of someone that is running, you can actually use wind that is blowing maybe paper away or paper that is flying in the wind. So that is connotative. So depending on whichever way you want to go, when you pick an image, ask yourself, is this image relevant? Does it explain what I want? We have mentioned before, it should have sharp resolution, and then make sure that the color is also well graded. It's not a picture that has faded or a picture that is too dark that people cannot pick the features of this of the picture or the image in it. And of course, you can decide to use images that can shock people or that can make people to ask questions. This is just on the creative side. So it's not all the time that you use an image that is just directly interprets what you are saying. You can go out of the box to just look for something that will shock the people so that you can engage effectively. Sometimes when you are using shocking images or inquisitive images, those are the things that you want people to respond to. You want to tickle their brain. You want to get something out of them. So these are some of the things that you can quickly put together. Now let's take a quick test. This image that we are looking at, what do you think we can use it for? What do you think we can use this image for? If you are going to use this for, say, headline, what kind of message can this go with? Any trial? Okay, so let's have 1 or 2 people speak to this. This will test our image evaluation strategy or evaluation strength. Someone says, Precious is saying networking. Networking. Okay, who agrees that it's networking? If you agree it's networking, just raise your hand. Does this go with networking? Okay, so Florence is designing an aerospace. Aerospace. Someone says airline. That's Rachel is saying is career elevation, scaling. That's Victory. They say engineering. Okay, so you see, thank you for your responses. Now, one image can mean many things. That is why you need to put text. So the text will bring it within, a what do you call it, a framework, so that people are not thinking of the roof. Someone says space discovery. Okay. From all these suggestions, the ones that will come top from my side is Rachel, career elevation. Now you can see that the person that is there is wearing shirt, and most likely what is in his hand is a pen. So that communicates some kind of work. Well, for those who have said engineer, space discovery, that can come second because of the science elements around it. But for engineering, it may not really go for engineering, and it obviously will not go for airline. Airline and rocket. This is a rocket, so it's a different ball game entirely. Okay, good one, good try. Let's take a look at another one. This is just to jumpstart our visual appreciation. Now, take a look at this. Quickly, what do you think this image will be relevant to? Any trial? So that those who have said engineering before now can come up and say, now this is engineering. Because, all right, Victory is saying gearing up, mechanical engineering, that's Rosemary. I have Pressure saying motion. Very good. I think all the suggestions are in order. System or interconnection or interaction. Very well. So that's a good one. All the suggestions can actually fit. So that's what we're talking about visual. Your visual must be relevant. So when you pick an image, interpret the image yourself. And most importantly, like I have mentioned before, interpret it in the understanding of your audience. So for instance, if you are going to use this image, you know that a child cannot understand this image. Probably even there are people who may not be able to capture the essence of this image. So we also need to think about that. Where you can get images, okay. Oh, well, you can just look at the slide. These are the websites you can get images: freepic.com, unsplash.com, pexels.com. I didn't know that this slide is still here. Okay. So those are where you can get free images for your designs. Now talking about color. There are different types of color that you find in PowerPoint. Even as you can find it in Google Slide and the rest. There are solid colors like clear color blue, color green. They are solid colors. Then you have gradient. Gradients are the ones that are mixed. I'll show us a couple of them shortly. And then, of course, when you are using colors, you always need to think about light versus dark. So it's advisable that when you use dark in a place, you complement with light. So you don't use two light colors. Like some people will use yellow and white together. That does not work. There are two light colors. So the moment you pick a light color, look for something a bit darker so that you can have contrast. And of course, it's a lot of people use color based on how they feel, but it's not about how you feel alone. Is, people, when we talk about color is like salt. So the people eat and they're like, there's not enough salt in this food, while some people are already running to wash their mouth. However, there must be some sense of balance so that you're able to put not just all your feelings you put inside the color, but more importantly is the meaning. Colors have meaning. So for instance, when you see pink, most times pink colors are used to, sell messages or send, I don't want to put it now. You use pink for women most times, even banking, in the banking industry, all of them, you'll find them using pink colors. All right, so colors have meaning. And when you are using colors, use colors that are alive. What we mean alive colors, colors that will not kill the things you have written. Sometimes the color can be too much that even what you have written will become meaningless. All right, so we're winding down. We're winding down here now. So just to help your color usage, there are places where you can go online to pick colors, because sometimes people have challenges with colors. Now, if you look at this, there's this paletton.com or colors.co. It will help you to pick colors that will go together. There's also a quick trick that you can use when you are picking colors. We are going to try that shortly. But let me explain this to you. Let me go to this paletton.com. I'll show you how you can quickly use it. Okay, just a minute. Where is the, okay. So this is the website. You can always come here to check out colors. Now, if you see what I have here, at this point, can you see my cursor? You can see the hand that is moving. So if you click here, it gives you an option of one color, and you roll it like this. The color can always change. Colors can change. Then if you click the next one, this gives you three colors that can blend together with the main color. So, however, if you pick any of it and you roll it, as the colors are changing, you can see the colors that can blend with it. So you are not usually out of color. This is what this called color palette. Color palette helps you to stay within certain colors that will not, run riot. So this is a tool that you can always use. So now at this side where I have my cursor, you can see all these 4 colors can actually work together. The way you just do it for easy application, you can just screenshot it. If you screenshot it, then use color picker to do it. We are going to do a trial now. Okay. Let's go back to slides. So this is 3 major things that we have talked about. We've talked about the text, we've talked about the visual, we've talked about color. All right. Now, the other thing that we usually talk about, although like I said, we may not necessarily get to use them all the time until you have the hang of PowerPoint or any slide, is effect. So that's about shadow, animation, and you can use sizes as an effect. You can increase the size of one text and reduce the size of the other, just like the one that we did when I was talking about PowerPoint is not text-based. You see that certain texts are big, others are smaller. That's for effect, for emphasis, and then you use shapes also. Okay, so this is where the talk is going to end. We are going to run practical right now. We are going to try and come up with a slide design, and I'd like you to, just see how well we're able to come up with it. And if you have any question, you can ask now before we just get into that. Any question? You can raise your hand or you can type it in the text. Okay, very well. The question. Okay, Shade is asking, when do you decide to use animation? Very good question. Now, use animation when you are done setting your slide. When you are done, you can put a good slide together and share. Let me show you this slide. Now, if you look at this slide, I did a, well, not so simple animation. It may look simple, but I had to tweak a few things. Now, this is a blank design, but if I click, you see that the question mark has just come on board. Then I click again. You see how the white presentation slides just showed up on the side. The big question mark, came in from the top. The text itself came in from the side, and that's animation. But you see, the reality is that I was already done with this. I have set it like this. I have finished setting it before I now decide to add the animation. I cannot say to myself, okay, how do I want this thing to enter? How do I want it to show? Okay, I want this one to come first. I want this one to come second. This is the kind of thing I want. This is the kind of effect I want it to have. So you don't go and start doing animation as you are doing slide. Make sure you are done with all your slides so that in case you run into trouble putting your animation together, you can quickly stop and let your slide run. And like I have said, for emphasis, again, is that animation is not critical. It's not critical, but when you now want to use it, make sure it is set, and then make sure that it is relevant, so it does not distract the audience from it, from the message you are trying to send. Okay, I hope that answers your question well. Okay, another question before we go run a practice session? Okay, so if I don't have any question, let's go and design. Okay, I like people to give 3 suggestions. Suggest 3 things that we can design on. You know, give one topic that we can quickly run a design. Am I getting suggestions? Suggest something that you want us to design, and then we can quickly run through that. Okay, someone is asking about that's Rachel, for the colors. The color is for the color platform or the color palette is paletting.com. I can show it again. Then we have colors.co. Okay, somebody is I'm asking for a design that we can do. Okay, I'm getting suggestions here. All right, let me see. Right, say church campaign, football updates. Okay, someone say Pentecost revival, pet king, a slide on the prevention of flooding. Okay, someone that's sending too many information to viewers at a time. Education. Okay, so now we are going to do mini minimum. Okay. I'm trying to come up with a blank slide. For the person who's asking for the colors, now this is where you can get it. See the spelling, paletting.com and colors.co. Okay, so we're going to run a quick design. Let me see which one. Football club, church, education. Yeah, I have more church. Church here. And 3 people have suggested church. 2 people have suggested football. Okay. Let's go with okay, maybe we can do 2 quickly. Let's do, I have 3 people mentioning church things here. I have 1, 2, 3. Okay, we do 1 church design. Then we'll do cannot do football or flood. Okay, so let's go. So I want to assume that we are a bit familiar with PowerPoint. I'll take us through quickly. When you open any software, there are three major things in the software that you have to remember, or you can quickly, you should know so that you can quickly put it to use. Look for two things. You have the commands. Can you see my slide now? So this slide, I failed to mention you can actually use PowerPoint. I mentioned it really, but I did not explain in depth. You can use PowerPoint for social media posts also. Maybe we should use this one, the church one, for social media posts, so that I can show you. You can use it for social media posts. You can change the size and then do your design, and you can export it as an image that you can put on social media. And that's one advantage also of PowerPoint. You cannot do that effectively on Google Slides because of the slide. You can manipulate the size of your slide to an extent. So having said that, let's do football first, and then we'll now do church design as a social media post that I can show you. So here we want to do football. So what do you want to talk about football? I believe I have very creative people here. Let's start racking our brain around that. So what do you want to talk about football? You know, we are doing something about football. Okay, so someone give us headline, give us a cue. What do we talk about football? I'll pick the headline and then we can get the text to run with it. I think there are football fans here. Those who want us to discuss football, say something. All right. I think the footballers are not here. Say English Premier League. Okay. Now let's think, because the whole thing about designing is okay, latest football champions. One of the major things about designing is what is the message you want to put across. That was one of the first things we mentioned. So we know what to talk about. Okay, let's talk about the football champions, or we want to talk about maybe the popular footballer. I hope I'm not going to cause wahala, because when some people talk football, they start to fight now. Someone say English Premier League. We want to talk about Ronaldo or something. Let's talk about Messi and his achievements. Before we have about here. Okay, so let's say we want to say something about Messi and his achievement. We talk about the winning team. Which winning team? Everybody believes their team is winning, even when they lose. That's the interesting about football. People don't lose. When the others win, the losers say that it's a lie. Okay. Now we can go ahead and talk about winning the game. Let's say we want to talk about the past 3 Premiership winners. Or I'm really trying to come up with something that may be relevant to a regular person. So not just football. Okay. Okay, very well. Let's talk about ticket. Let's talk about ticket to watch a match. Where should they go? Should go to the Emirates or where? Now, the first thing we want to ask ourselves is, what is the message? What is the message that we are selling? So the message is buy somebody selling something. Maybe you buy, let's say you buy a carton of milk and win a trip, okay, to watch. But don't let me put Arsenal there. Let me just say the World Cup so that I'll be free. All right. So that's like a message. But when we look at this, what is the emphasis? Free trip. We can call that our headline, free trip to World Cup. I'm trying to be in the middle here so that other guys will not come and puncture me. All right, so this is what we want to talk about. And of course, we are going to have messages like steps. What are the steps that they need to get that offer? So step 1, is buy the carton, look at the base, look for the, what do you call it? You can look for the coupon. Text the coupon or number. So maybe 08033333333. All right. And then check your phone for SMS. Now we look at all of this. To quickly to run a design of this, somebody asking a question, that's linear. Can you do things in a laptop using, or is it for Windows only? Sorry, I did not get the question. Linear is asking if you can use laptop or Linux. Are you talking about Windows? Okay, Linux OS. Of course, the OS is different from the OS of a system. Has nothing to do with the software you are using, really. As long as the software is available to run on that operating system, you can use it. So this is more software based. It's not about the OS. So if you are using Linux and Linux has a software, if Linux can, or let me put it this way, if PowerPoint can be installed into Linux, you can use it. So it has nothing to do with the OS. Maybe there may be a few features out there. Okay, so now we have this field trip to World Cup. We can run it like this, but want to make a quick design from here. Now, what do we do? First thing is, what's our emphasis? What is the take home? What do we think people will see and it will capture their attention? Is it the trip or the World Cup? That's the first thing you have to think. Is it the free trip or World Cup? Or everything together? So if you ask me, people, the World Cup is a brand on its own, is popular and known. Okay. And where was the last one played? The last World Cup. Are we there? Where was the last World Cup played? Footballers. Somebody was saying something. Okay. Qatar. So if we say free trip to the World Cup, or we say, can just put there. Qatar, is this correct? So without anything, there are three images we can use. Three images we can use for this slide. Who can quickly suggest three images that we can use for this slide? We can use image of some of a flight. We can use the image of Qatar Stadium. We can use the image of footballers, you know, top footballers that are playing. So that already gives you three ideas, three images that you can use. All right. At this point, even if you use football may not really mean anything afterwards. Okay. So, but that is what we are trying to illustrate. So free trip to Qatar World Cup. Quickly, where do we go? We go to our free pick. That's the place where I showed you the other time to pick pictures. All right. So this is free pick. Oh. So let's look for World Cup. So you can see the different options that is giving us here. Can you see the options? There's even one that already rating Qatar. So different options. But as you are looking through these images, because you want to talk about the relevant image, whatever image you pick, you have to interpret it. Okay. So let's see an image you can pick. So let me see, we'll take this. This. This is where you can, your questions can come, you can you can actually describe a few things. For instance, we are talking about World Cup. We want to talk about we want an African image, because sometimes depending on the country you are designing for, you are designing for, either from or for. You cannot put African there. I want you to give me pictures of Africans and football. So it has changed. It's now showing me a couple of pictures with Africans. Can take a look at this. What is coming to my mind is using someone in the stadium that's watching the match. I use this. Okay. We have to be fast. Time is running. So it'll be done in another 10 minutes thereabouts. Okay, so I picked this image and pick. I see the images. And let me also show you something interesting about free pick. Just help your choice or why you should use free pick. You have, this is, there's free version, there's paid version. I'm using a paid version. So there are some images that you may not get if it's free, but for most of the period, you can actually get it. You can get good pictures. All right, so let me pick. This picture may not shock anybody. This one has action, okay, and it's showing field, stadium at the back. So I may probably pick this one. But now one other thing about free pick you can use, it can take away the background for you. If I click that thing, you see that it's going to take away the background. Or if you want to crop images, you want to take away background, you can actually do, you see that's taking the background away. So I can put it in any form that I want. But that's not what I want. I want to use the image itself. So that's the advantage of using this free pick. Can help you to achieve that. Another tool you can use is called remove.bg. Remove.bg can crop images for you and take them out. All right. So we are back. We are done with the image. I've copied the image. So let's go back to our slide. Now, interesting thing about PowerPoint is that you can actually, instead of going to a website and coming back, you can actually go to the website from the PowerPoint. Now I'll show you. So if you look at I come to insert, you can follow my mouse, You see where my mouse is going here. You have the online pictures. opens, then takes me to Bing search. I click this. All right. It's going to show me some pictures online because it's Microsoft Word. That's why it's giving me this. So you see, these are online pictures that's showing me. So if I pull what up there, let's see what it's going to give us. Okay. All right, so these are the pictures that it's giving us. It may not be too interesting like pick, but you can pick small, you can get good pictures here too. All right, so the moment you come, let's see which one can we pick here. Which one? We're looking for a stadium. Okay, let's just pick this stadium, this free stadium here. You pick this, the moment you say insert, it just goes into your PowerPoint directly. So that's easy for you to run. But if you are looking for some pictures that are not there, or it's an error of code, wow. Okay, because of time, we can quickly get ahead with what we're doing. So I'm going to bring in that picture. How do you bring in the picture? Quickly insert. This time I'm not going online. I'm going for pictures. I'll go to where I saved it. It's in my download. Quickly, I'll get to my download. This is the picture. I insert the picture. Now, if you look at this picture, it's big enough. It has filled almost the whole space. I'll send it to the back. Now, it's not allowing what I'm writing, what I've written to show. That's where the problem starts, because when you have written something, you bring a picture and then there's problem. But quick grid that I can show you, I'll show you a quick grid line. When I mean grid, how to quickly arrange, you can divide it into two. So the picture is here and your text can come here. And then your headline can be here. In fact, the headline can be on one side. Yes. Now, this headline, obviously we change the colors. We change the text for it to be bold. We want it to be bold. I can double this. I'm using quick. I've broken this into two. No, I'm running against time now, so I'm trying to use quick shortcuts. Now, what I did to duplicate that, I press Control and I drag the headline so it will double it for me. All right, so free trip. I'm breaking this text into three. Quickly, we've done this. So now, I mentioned to you the other time that you can increase a text. Now, free trip is the big thing we want to use here. So, I can bring this down. We have this free trip. There are two things we can do here. We can actually give it a red background. Quickly, let's see, we come here, give it red. The text has to be white. So I centralize it. Then Qatar World Cup. I can actually also use this. Now what I'm trying to do is I'm going through the fast lane. I want to believe that we have a good, a fair understanding of PowerPoint. So this one I can change the background. Let me give this background like blue. Now I want you to see what I'm doing right now. I'm going to pick colors. For I mentioned something about using colors the other time. One of the ways you can actually enjoy, you can save yourself a lot of worries about colors. You can pick colors from the pictures. So for instance, I want to, this color, there's blue here, so that's why I'm picking blue. But I come here, I use my eyedropper. With this eyedropper, any color I click will show. So I click it, it has changed the color. So any color I'm using can be here. So if I want to change this red now, I come to this field, I pick my eyedropper. What color can I use here now? Maybe I should use the brown color of this guy's face. So I click it, you see it has changed it. So that will help me to blend the colors of my slide and the color of my text. So Qatar World Cup, I can quickly change this to white also. Now, for aesthetic reasons, I come here. This is called an overlap. I bring Qatar on top. Now this one can stay here. See, I have everything together, but I can decide to change this text. Now I put the three together. I can group the three, press a group. So let me say they group together now. All right. Don't vote. I need to group them together. No, I lied. Okay, so but I want you to see what I'm trying to do. I hope any questions so far? So I'll move all this together here. Then quickly I can break this one up. This can be bold. Now this is actually the main thing, the action there is what is called call to action. So that's what we're having here, like a call to action. So we can have this. Is my screen visible now? Then I can see what I'm doing. Yes, my screen is visible.
Yes,
Yes, it's
yes, it
visible.
is.
Okay. All right, thank you. Now, of course, I can, because this is the highlight, I can decide to give it a different color. Maybe give it that red thing I wanted to do before. Ah, the red is not working, it's too loud. Let me look for another color that can blend it. That's pretty weak. Now, when we are saying something about buy a carton of milk, nobody is nobody is talking about the milk. This is the carton of milk itself. So can actually emphasize this. All right. Not every time. One of the challenges we have with PowerPoint, sometimes people feel you must use the bullet. You don't need to use the bullet point. So I can clean up the bullet point because of what I want to do and just go ahead and put this one here. Let me just put a line here. Is this making sense at all? This is a very quick. I increase the text, the weight. It's too big. That's too big. So I just do this. I increase this a bit. Let's make it the 32. Yes. Yes. All right. We have empty spaces around. So what do we do? Let me cut this. To introduce another text box. And here I will use numbers rather than where my numbers. Okay. I'm trying to minimize the space. All right. So there are different ways we can arrange this thing. But because it's football, I'm trying to make it as creative as possible. We can still bend it if you want to. See, can bend it to create a feel. This one too has to bend a bit. All right, so we can decide to have a background to it. Can move it here, can move it here, but to connect the two sides of this thing, that's why I'm putting it here. This can come back a bit. Now, I've not used any background color, as you can see it. But most times, people will just splash color. Wow, you have not even done any work at all. You have started adding colors. Your first thing is to arrange, do your arrangement so that it's clear enough. I don't want this one to go out of here. Okay, so this is without any background. Now I can decide to put a background. Now, to put a background, I click the box. I'm putting this background because I mentioned something about gradient and I want to use it. So you can see here, this is a solid color we mentioned. Let's take so that you can understand it. If you right click this, you quickly come back to format shape. By formatting shape, come to fill. This is where you can actually change colors. You can change the color here too. Or we come to gradient. The moment we click gradient, you see that this thing has changed. And this is what we mean by gradient colors. You have from dark to light, the same color from dark to light, but it can be different colors. You can mix it. So this is where you come. If you follow my cursor, this is where you come to do the mixing. All right, you do the mix here. You can change the colors here. But for us to see what we are doing, let us send this to the back. Send this to the back. Can leave it like this. Or let's see how it's going to look if we flip it. So let's say we flip. So which one is better? Like this or like this? Which one is better? I'm asking a question, which one is better? Look at the background, you have blue at the bottom, and then you have blue at the top.
To me, this is better, sir.
This blue at the top?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, why?
Yeah, because from my own perspective, it gives more it gives it helps the writing to be visible more downward than up. That's the writing down.
Let me put it on screen to see.
Yeah.
Then it makes the writing to be more visible. Does anybody have any counter? Does anybody want to counter that? Okay, somebody else has said it makes the write up obvious. Okay, I surrender.
Yes,
Okay,
it's
I'm
okay
listening. Go ahead.
because it helps the written very clear for everybody to see due to the color we use to write it. I mean the red and the black as well. So the background help it to be clear.
Okay. All right, thank you. Okay, so we can leave it like this. This is just a quick one for us to see how we can come up with something. We can do something more complex than this, but of course, time will not permit. So that's why we are running this. Somebody was asking how I got the line. The line is here. Follow my cursor. These tools, even when you click insert, sometimes you can have more options of what you can put into the PowerPoint. Here you can put video, you can put audio, you can put many things, but this is not all about. If you click insert, you come to shape. If you click this shape, you see different shapes that you can use, the different lines that you can use. So if you just click the line, come here, drag it, and then you have it. So that's how it works. Okay, so we've done a quick one. This is a simple slide. So in case you are working in a marketing agency and you want to show your boss that you have an idea of a free trip to Qatar World Cup as a promo, you can put this one together and say, I have an idea, next World Cup, or why can't we do this, something like this? This is a way to explain it. This is not even the design for the advert itself. This can be used as a way to explain what you have in mind. So imagine putting this one in front of your boss or your colleagues they can quickly interpret what you are saying than using the mouth to say. The moment they see a picture of somebody in a stadium screaming, their mind will travel straight. So if one of the customers can be, can be flown to the match, and this is the kind of excitement the person will have. So this picture, remember I chose this picture. This picture, we had three options. We had one. Should I go back there so that we can understand what I mean? We had three options of the pictures. So we are talking about relevant images. We had this one. Okay, let me wait for it to load. Can you see my screen? Oh. We had this option of this picture. We add this one. And then this one. Now, why didn't I pick this one? This is a general picture. Everybody is going to be seeing it. It's World Cup. Everybody can, yes, connect with it, but it does not evoke emotion. It does not make so, it does not catch somebody's attention because they are probably used to seeing this trophy all over. Then this one is good, but again, I'm designing from here in Africa. So I want, and probably the people who want to engage, they are Africans. So this person can be a Nigerian anyway, the way she's looking. But of course, we know the picture that people cannot miss. Now, this is picture of a regular guy. Doesn't look like a supporter or a fan. Sorry, like who are these guys who go with the team to go and hail them? This looks like a regular guy that I'm talking about. So, and then there's emotion. The guy is screaming. One of the secret of, let me just drop this. It's not part of the training, but one of the secret of communicating effectively is evoking emotion. And anything that you want to sell, you should use celebration. People want to celebrate that people really come to. So this is like a celebration. So it connects. Connects. Yes, thank you. Shall I say it adds more to the color on top? Okay, I think that's about it. That one is for the backdrop, for the background. Okay, so I think this is good. Do I have any other question before we go on? Or I think we can call it a day. Any question, any comment? I said we're going to do a social media. Okay, but we have lost time, so I'm not sure we can do that. But quickly, I'll show you a trick that you can use to do your social media post. In case you want to post on social media, the major thing is the size. So if you come to PowerPoint, okay, let's see, you click design. If you click design, if you follow my cursor, if you follow my cursor to this side, I click design. Now I am here. If you follow my cursor, can you see where this is coming?
Abba.
All right. So if you click the size, slide size, is for you to change the size of the slide. I know most social media posts will come as a square. So you now keep this, if you pick this standard, it's going to change the size of the design. Let me just look at it. It has changed. Let me do another one. I wanted to do a new stuff, but let's do this. So fit, if I say ensure fit, it has changed it has changed the size to something that can go on social media. Let me just try this. Let's do a new one. I'll give you a new. So I'm setting this up. This is a fresh PowerPoint page. This is the cover. I come to design. I click slide. If I do 4x3, 4x3 makes it look like a square. It's not an actual square, but you can come here again and do custom slide. Custom slide, ratio 1:1 of social media post design. So what you can do is, whatever you have 25 cm here, you put 25 cm here, okay, and you click OK. You want to do fit whichever way you want it. It does not matter now. So it's as good as square. So you can do your design here. Any design you put here will work. So let's say we are doing praise concerts. And quickly increase this to 80. I've changed my text. I can still increase the size to 100. Now, I showed you something, how you can double it. Press Control and drag this thing, it will become double. So then I can close this up. I want to split it. Take this space out. Oh, you guys are not seeing what I'm doing. Hello, are you with me?
Yes, but we are not seeing what you're doing.
Wow. So serious, sorry. Okay. This is what I'm doing. Please feel the attendance. They are wrapping up. I'll go over it shortly, sorry. So this is what I did. Let me just cut this one off. So I said, come to design, click this slide size, and then come to custom size. It gives you this up there, it gives you this dialog box. Then put the same, you have 25 cm by 25 cm. This will go well on Instagram. All right. 25 by 25. And then you click OK. So you click OK. And that's what gives you this size. So you see, it's different from the other one that we did. It's different from the size is different. Then I just had to do this. So now I put I've written praise concerts. I'm trying to do the church design that people are talking about, that people requested. So now this one, praise concerts. I need this praise to be very big. That is the main thing. I come back here. I can make the size to be 200. Now it's very big. Okay. What I try to do is I try to tighten it so that they come together and not to spread very tight. So that's praise. Now this concert can use another text for it so that they are not looking together. Let's change the fonts to what font should we use here? Now another quick tip, if you are using a straight font, when you are designing, combine it with cursive, something that is not always straight. But this one, depending on your church, I don't know, this will be good for a youth design, but this may not work for churches with older people. All right, so I put the concert there. Now I can decide to do the colors. Now I assume that this is going to be my date and time. Time, date, and venue. Okay, so I have them there. Quickly, I'm done. Design can be simplified. So what do I want to put? I need an image that will go with it. Most times I advise, try as much as possible to get an image, and then you can use the colors from the image to fix it. So let's go back to our, okay, no, let's do the one from here. Let's do insert online pictures. They ask me if I want to go online. I hope you can see what I'm doing. I'll finish this in the
Yes.
next 3 minutes. Should be out of here in 5 minutes. All right, so I want to say music. Music is what I'm looking for. So I have pictures of music here. Because it's a concert, I probably want to choose this one. Insert. I hope it's not going to fall now. An error. It's giving me errors. Okay, no problem. I usually get this done. So I don't know why it's giving me errors now. I cannot troubleshoot this right now. But it's doable. I do it often. So let me go to where's that site again? I'll just put music here. Or I can just put music concert. Pick one now. Oh, we can't pick. No, I do music. I just pick this one. I'm right now trying to be very fast. Very fast. So here I'll copy it. I'll copy. Then I'm back to my page, and then we will be done. Okay, are you following me? So now I'll paste it here. This is my image. But I can make it the full background. let's see. So I'll crop it, format, crop. I want to assume that we are filling the attendance form. This is here. Send to back. Now, what I've done is not showing. I say crop some more. All right, so I think we can use this now. This is dark color. I said something about dark and light. So that means I'll use a light color. I'll probably use white here. And then I'll use yellow here. I can actually bring them down. I have my date and time. I'll give this a background. So let's assume I make it gold, and then we are done. And this is where I can stop. I may not be able to continue because of time. Okay. So I think we are good here. So this one, all you have to do is export it, come to file, save as. It will give you JPEG option, or you click export, then you can use it on your social media. So that's a quick one that we can put here. Do you have any question at this moment before we call it a day? All right, this is done in a rush. Okay, so thank you everyone for sticking to this time. Yes, I think that we have learned a couple of things, right? So as a last bonus, I want to say to you, for some of you that you are saying that somebody mentioned the software that is probably not working, that's not working with PowerPoint, just try and sort it out. But you can actually use this. You can do this on your phone. You can do this on your phone. In fact, the bonus knowledge I want to give is how you can make your phone to work as a laptop. Means that if you can get your phone connected to the TV, you can mirror your phone on TV, and of course you can eventually see what you are doing bigger, and there's a way you can connect your keyboard to it, so then you can use it. All right, thank you. Can I have two people just tell us what you have learned in the class, and just give feedback, quick feedback? Two people, quick feedback. Okay, any feedback from the house? What have you gained? What have you learned today? If you have done PowerPoint before or done slide before, what have you learned? Should I call names? Any volunteer?
Good evening. Good evening, sir.
Hello, good evening.
Okay, my name is Jovita. So what I learned today was that we're able to create compiling visual slide presentation on Microsoft PowerPoint.
Okay.
I hope, hello.
Yes, thank you. That's clear enough. Thank you. All right. Somebody also put on chat that what did she put there? Color synchronization. Okay. How to use a matching image. Very well. All right. Thank you. You've been wonderful. Thank you for staying through to this time. I believe that we can go forward from here to start using this knowledge, and we can leverage this, at different points for different things. And I want to hand over to Shefa right now. Thank you. Okay, so Shefa, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, over to you. Shefa, I'm done. I guess you can wrap the class up.